So today I want to talk to you about passive income, and specifically we're going to talk about 7 passive income ideas that you could do this year that could make you over $1,000 per month. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification button if you want to be notified of future videos. All right, let's get to it. One thing I want to start out with though, before we get further, is what is passive income? Passive income doesn't mean you don't work at all, right? Passive income means you work once and get paid over and over and over again. So some of these things will actually take time, right? We're not talking about instant get rich quick type schemes. We're talking about stuff where, hey, you put in the work up front and you're gonna reap the reward for years to come. The first way to make passive income this year would be through affiliate marketing. And this is actually the primary way that I make a living today. But it is something that takes time and takes owning a website. So you have to have a website of some sort, whether it's a blog, your personal website, maybe it's a company that you own, you started, and you're kind of like sitting on it, or you could just start your own blog from scratch. But once you have that website, affiliate marketing is simply this. It's where you create relationships with different brands. So think Lyft, Instacart, any type of brand, banks, so Chase Bank, things like that, where you're trying to get a relationship, and for sending people to these banks and to these different places, you would get a commission for referring them. So just saying, hey, Auntie M, like here's a link to sign up for a bank account, and she's like, oh great, thanks. She gets a high interest yield savings account. You get $100 for sending them to that specific brand. So affiliate marketing is great because really you can start with your network. You can start with people that you know, and really you don't have to have a huge audience. Now obviously that does help. The more people that you have, the more you're able to get the message out there, and therefore the more money you could make passively. The second way to make passive income this year is through real estate. There's the traditional way of buying real estate, which is, okay, you're gonna come up with say 20% down. So on a $200,000 property, you're talking about $40,000. And then you're going to have some money to, fix up the place, get it ready for somebody to rent it or flip it, whatever it is. It's a lot of capital, takes a lot of time, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And so it is a way that you can go, right? And there are, these 5%, 10% down plans, but the reality is you're gonna pay more in private mortgage insurance. And so even at that, you still need capital. It still can be a hassle. I know this from personal experience because I owned 2 properties in the height of the market in 2006, spent a lot of money on them, didn't put 20% down, so I paid more in interest, and I lost my shirt. So really, you want to do it wisely. And so now there are new mechanisms to invest in real estate called crowd-funded real estate. So instead of you doing all of that, you could basically invest in a pool of money. So let's just say you and 100 other people put in your money and you buy this property essentially, right? And so I'll have a link below this video that will talk about what are the best crowd-funded real estate companies, so you can check those out. But really the idea is, instead of you having to put all this work, manage the property, somebody else will do it for you. You just put your money towards that property, and then you get a percentage, right? And so we'll say somewhere between 7 and 12% is what that looks like, depending on the company and the risk and those type of things. So that can be a great way to make passive income, even with as little as $500. So you don't need $20,000, $40,000 to get started. So this is something that the average person can do. There was it's called the Jobs Act in 2012 that basically allowed people this option now. So for the past 8 years, the average person can invest in real estate with very little money and do it in a way that is not as risky as in previous years. The third way to make passive income, and this is like the old school Warren Buffett way, is through dividend income, right? So this is from owning equities. I guess you could own bonds too, but we're really gonna talk about equities and talk about companies that you could own, and specifically more index funds, right? So an example of an index fund would be the S&P 500, which has the 500 largest companies like Apple and Walmart and Amazon and all those companies in one basket, right? So instead of going and investing 500 different times, you invest one time in this one security, and that would provide a certain dividend, let's say 3% dividend for owning those specific funds. So let's just say on if you had 100 grand, that would be $3 grand a year. If you had 300 grand, that'd be about $9 grand a year. So if you have 400 grand, you're at 12 grand a year. So really you're making $1,000 a month if you have that much money just invested in an index fund. And obviously you could be like 400 grand, Deacon, come on, that's ridiculous, right? Well, over time, compound interest will grow your money, and most people, if they invest wisely and pay off their debt and they're able to have a consistent plan, can get there. So just trying to give you some foundational things to say, hey, dividend income could be a way that you could create some passive income for your future. The fourth way, and this is a pretty exciting way because I think this is something that a lot of people can do if you have a cell phone, is YouTube. And I think that there's this kind of stigma. I know for me personally, I think of YouTube stars and personality. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to be one. I'm just here to help you and kind of educate you. But I think that there is a stigma that people are out there to make a buck, right? And so they're going to do whatever they can. I was watching this guy doing a Lamborghini race, and the winner of the race gets a Lamborghini, and this was a YouTube video. It had 21 million views. And I'm like, I don't know what value that adds. I mean, it's very entertaining, but I think that the idea is, it's like, I don't think you want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. I want to be the guy that says, hey, I've learned some things in life and I want to share those with other people. And YouTube is a platform to where you can do that and reach billions of people like that. And that's incredible to me. So really being able to say, what are you passionate about? What are your interests? What are your skills? What are the things that you could teach other people through video, through YouTube, so that you could make passive income? And once again, this is something that will take time. You'll have to have a camera, you'll have to put in the work, you have to edit it, but as you let it grow and compound, could be a very good source of passive income. The fifth way, and this, you gotta bear with me here, to make passive income would be by buying a property to make an Airbnb, to make a vacation rental. And you might be thinking, oh my gosh, that sounds like a lot of work. You have a lot of turnover, you gotta clean sheets, you gotta put towels back, like constantly be answering questions. Well, if not always, if you were to get a property manager, you could actually hire somebody to do all of that stuff for a cut of the profits, right? So you could buy the property, hire a property manager, and that property manager is gonna hire cleaners and they're gonna communicate with the guests. They'll automate a lot of that process as well. So the idea is you could not only get the income, the passive income, but you could also get the appreciation from owning the property. Now, we could say right now we're kind of at a peak when it comes to the real estate market. There's a lot going on in the financial market. So it's kind of hard to say, like, when's a good time to buy, right? So this is something that you want to kind of say for you personally, what kind of capital do you have to bring to the table? What kind of risk are you willing to take? But in the long run, real estate has paid off and has a track record, and could be a great way to get passive income and have a property that appreciates as well. So the sixth way to make passive income is by creating an online course. This is very similar to YouTube. However, it doesn't have to be videos. I have a friend that created a course. It's actually about affiliate marketing, and she did not have any videos in it at all. It was all written form. And I found it very valuable, and I paid, I think, $200 for the course. So the reality is that you could actually create an online course where you teach people how to basket weave, or how to build a table or a chair, or you could teach someone how to remove a background from an image. Whatever your skill set is, you could create a course around it. I remember hearing on a podcast by Pat Flynn, he's got a podcast that's awesome called Smart Passive Income, and he interviewed this guy who was a photographer, and he literally made 6 figures teaching people how to take pictures of newborn babies. Like that was his online course, was how to take pictures of newborn babies, right? And made 6 figures. So the reality is you could create a course about whatever your skill set is, and then figure out what that price point is. There's actually a number of courses out there that will teach you how to create a course. And so that would be something to look into, whether it's to buy a course and figure out if it makes sense for you, or if it's to maybe watch some YouTube videos on people that have courses and learn from them for free. I'm a big fan of that, right? Like, I won't pay unless I have to. I'll be like, hey, what's the free option? I'll Google it, I'll go to YouTube, and then if I find someone where I'm like, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about, I really think that I'm gonna get the value out of it that's gonna get me to the next level, then of course I'll pay a couple $100, $500, whatever it might be to get to the next level. All right, the last way to make passive income, and obviously there's tons of ways, but this is something to think about this year, is to create an online e-commerce business, specifically an FBA business. And what that means is fulfilled by Amazon. There's a lot of ways that you can do e-commerce, but in this day and age, it's hard to compete with 2-day shipping from Amazon, right? So now what you could do is you could source products in these other countries, foreign countries, get them shipped directly to Amazon, and then they sell the product for you. And so the reality is you just kind of become the source for whatever that product is. And I have a friend that does this here locally. He does it with a specific type of pool chloridator. And basically he buys them in bulk from the manufacturer, has them shipped to Amazon, Amazon fulfills, and then he makes the difference between what it cost him to buy from the manufacturer and what it sells for at retail. And so this could be a great way to make passive income. Once again, does take work up front, does find, hey, how do I find a product? How do I find a manufacturer? If you want to get more information about that, my friend Steve Chu has a course called How to Create a Profitable Online Store. I'll have a link to that below as well. But basically to kind of look at, like, what does it look like to create an e-commerce platform in the 21st century. Well, I hope you found this video valuable, and if you did, please hit the like button. Also, if you have a way that you make passive income that wasn't mentioned in this video, please comment below. I would love to hear it, and thanks for watching.